A big hello and a warm welcome to all of you amazing and beautiful people out there to my channel, the Twinflame Union. And yes, welcome back once again to the channeling session titled as Divine Masculine Makes Super Cute Confessions of Love to His Divine Feminine. And let's jump right into it. So I ended at the point where I had mentioned that he is making clear confessions of love, where he is saying, I love you to her and you mean a lot to me, or you are my priority, or you matter to me, or anything which he feels that he should have said long back before the separation phase. But in fact, a lot of DMs had already made the confessions of love back then in some way or the other. But it was just that time the feminines were unhealed. They had many wounds and they also had wounds. So both of them could not see the love as such as clearly, and thus the separation took place. Both of them are feeling this magical sensation right now in this channeling, and the Divine Masculine also mentions this to her, that I always loved you the same way. I always had really very strong love for you, but this was like a secret. It was like a secret that I had kept from you, and now finally, after such a long wait, he's also been waiting for so long to be with her, be back with her. So he's saying that this secret, I'm revealing this secret to you after keeping it in my heart for such a long time. And he's saying that I swear on God, like I swear on anyone who's important to me, anyone who understands me in my true essence, that this was the only truth. And again, I would say that this cannot happen to any divine feminine until and unless she has crossed the stage of surrender, because it's only after surrender the harmonization happens and all the grudges are healed, all the wounds are healed. So do not expect this to happen to you if you are still angry, upset, very, very upset, and you're still blaming them, you're still like mad at them, then this channeling will not apply to you. But if you have crossed the surrender stage, which is the 5th stage of the twin flame journey, a very important, most important stage actually, then yes, this will apply to you. So you need to be there at least till there. Before that, if you want to know what's happening in my journey, what's the scenario with me, so you need to get a personal session for that. You need to get into therapy, because when you have wounds, when you have a lot of injuries, that's the time you will be in the zone of suffering and you will be feeling miserable. So you need to understand where you're in the journey, which stage you're in the journey, and that cannot be done in a public channeling. So if you feel confused, if you feel lost, if you feel that you have all of those negative emotions in you, or you have many doubts, even, you could be wondering whether you are a twin also or not. Are you really a twin flame? Or you could be stuck with a false twin. So what happens is that the final stages also happen. Let me tell you, with the false twin relationship also, people even reach to the final stage. But because it's a false twin, you are stuck in a loop, which means that when false twin comes back, then he goes again. Then he comes back, then he goes away again. And this becomes like a never-ending cycle. And it's very tiring. It's very exhausting. It's very, very, very toxic. So to get out of the false twin also, you need to know. But there is one surety, that if you are in a false twin relationship and it ends, then when you meet your twin, then it does not take that long. It will still take the time, because again, either you can do the healing and therapy work right before you meet the real twin, or you meet the twin, you start seeing the same pattern, or you start seeing discomfort and you can get into therapy immediately and get your wounds healed. So now, for those of the divine feminines who have crossed surrender and radiance and then harmonization, they will be the ones who will who will not find this to be a difficult pill to swallow. Even if you're in the surrender stage, even if you're in the radiant stage, you will know that this channeling will resonate with you. So the DM is not even saying these words like, I love you, you mean to me, you're my priority, or you matter to me, I missed you so much, I'm so happy to see you. Not because he wants to woo her or he's playing that game again. No, he is actually feeling it. He's deeply, intensely, and truly feeling it. And this time he's very sure about what he's saying. When he confessed the love to the divine feminine before separation, then too he was very sure, because they had that runner and chaser dynamic. So even in runner chaser dynamic, when the DM and DFs go away and then come back, that time also they come back because they feel a very strong feeling. But what happens is that feeling that doesn't stay for very long. Now, the long separation is very important, because the long separation helps you value the person even more. A lot of people complain about the long separation. They say, why me? So I want to say that if you won't have a long separation, neither will you realize, neither will you understand after going to karmics or without going to karmics, neither would you know how much you want that person. And when I say want, it's not in a dirty way like I want something. No, it's not in the desire way. When you want, as in, you know that this is the person who suits you, this is the person you also like. You cannot be attracted towards everyone, especially when you do the inner work, especially when you actually do the twin flame journey properly. Then you know that you cannot get attracted to anyone but only one person. Only one person. You don't even have to have sex with them. You don't even have to get intimate with them. You don't need to go very close with them. You don't even need to, live under the same roof with them. But you love them. That's it. You don't know why you love them. You don't know how you fall into that scene. But you just, it's very natural. Like how you love your pet. You know, if I have a pet with me, I know I love my pet. I know, and there is no reason. True love is unreasonable. There are no reasons. It's unconditional and unreasonable. So this is exactly how he is feeling. And he is feeling this for her because she is in that zone. Because she has done that work. And in her natural free zone, when you are natural, you will only attract a natural partner to you. That's how it works. Now, the second couple in this channeling is a married couple, and after the marriage, they got into a separation. And this can definitely happen, and you would have also come across accounts of those twin flame couples who were basically together after an affair or after liking each other, and they knew all along that they are a twin flame couple. And before marriage also they had their difficulties, and they thought that they have basically gone through all the stages of the twin flame, and now it won't be so difficult. In fact, they even thought that, oh, we didn't know it would be so easy. Now obviously both are spiritually awakened people, and they have been into some kind of mindfulness practice. Now, when you are in a marriage situation and you have a ceremony in front of everyone, then it's very, difficult to accept or believe that you could be going into separation. And I'm not judging or comparing. I know everybody's situation is very difficult. But in these two cases, the parents were involved. It was not like a situation where in, twin flame relationships, we see that the DM had ghosted her completely and then he came back. Here the DM was living under the same roof and they had made vows and things like that, and then he went away with a karmic. And in the meantime, during the separation phase, even the DF had karmics. So it took them a couple of years actually. For some time they had to, they always felt their love for each other, but there was so much anger and bitterness and resentment and blaming each other, and even saying things like, how can an aware person do this, or how can an awoke person do this? So it was really difficult for both of them to actually work on them more and more and more. So they realized that they have to do deeper, even more deeper inner work. Whatever inner work they had done before the marriage, that was good enough, but now because of whatever was happening, or it was like when they're living under the same roof, they were spending way too much time together, and that also sort of, because they were not ready really to be together for so long, that also had a big toll on them. As long as you're dating, you can still go back to your own respective houses, or you can still go back to your own spaces, and you can still sort the differences, or you can, talk over the phone or make a video call or things like that. Again, I'm not making any comparisons. I'm not saying that anybody else's journey who were not in marriage was difficult. I'm just talking from space perspective. And this can even apply to those people who were in a live-in relationship, like live-in relationship for 1 year, 2 years, 6 months, whatever. But before you get into a live-in relationship, you obviously have a serious talk to each other about how you feel for one another, and you have to spend a good amount of time. I don't think it is that kind of a couple who just met at some place and decided to live in. No. It was a couple that liked each other, spent some time with each other, dated each other, and then they thought, maybe now it's the perfect time to commit more deeply. But when they got into that state, it became like really crazy fights and anger and, questioning and doubting, and everything, came crashing down. So it was very difficult for these two people. But due to inner work, they both understood. And due to therapy, inner work, I say these things are like so amazing. Till the time you don't do it fully, you will never know what magic it has behind it. But whatever, they realize that, it was my resentment. So now the divine feminine and masculine have reconciled, and they're living again together. Now, when they're under the same roof, say for example, the masculine has gone out for work, or he's gone out for a meeting or whatever, he's just gone out. Behind him, she's waiting, and she's waiting in a very positive way. She's looking at their old pictures, and she's looking at their before the separation, all the good times they had. And then she's thinking that we did have something good going on between us, but then we could not, at that point in time, we could not understand. But now she is making this confession, and what I am being shown that the divine masculine, sorry, I think I made a mistake. The divine masculine, it wasn't the masculine who had gone out, because in this case, the masculine energies are in the feminine, as in the female, and the feminine energy is in the male. So the male whose feminine has gone out, and the female with the masculine energy is at home, and she just looks at all the pictures and all the photographs, or she's just going through reminiscing the old times, and very happy to have them back. And there are confessions. There are some confessions that you don't even need to make in the person's face. They just know it. Love is something you cannot hide. In Hindi, actually in Urdu, there is a statement, there's a very nice idiom called ishq or mushk chupaye nahi chupte. Ishq means love, and mushk means the musk deer has a fragrance. And these two things, even if you try to hide it, even if you try to, lock it in a closet, you can never hide it. Love is such a thing, and fragrance is such a thing that it cannot be hidden. So they cannot hide it, right? So she doesn't say it on his face, but when the person comes back home, the female with the masculine energy, when she comes back home, it's so evident, they look at each other with that love, and that respect is back, and they understand that, all of this happened because of the reasons that we had not we had not healed our wounds. And now this also gives them a very strong lesson that next time, if they have some kind of disparity or discrimination or argument, or it goes to that level, level where they feel like they should not be together, they've both learned it the hard way, that you have to do inner work, and something, you have to work on your own self. You cannot blame the other person. So they have learned this via the difficult path, but they have learned it for real. Now, the interesting part that I want to say, that I want to mention in this channeling, is that they also echo the same feelings that I had kept this as a secret, like, because in the separation it was like a secret, that I had kept my love for you as a secret. It was always there. It never left me even for a second. Even though the situation was bad, even if, everything felt like it will never work out, it looked like impossible to work out. But I always had this love, but now I cannot hide it anymore, I just want to go, like all out. And this is not even a couple which is very touchy feely. Like some people, they hold hands a lot, they kiss each other a lot, they hug each other a lot. But there are some couples who don't touch each other so much, they don't do physical contact so much, but they, in the way they look at each other, in the way they smile at each other, in the way they, do simple things for each other, like, give water or, cook something for each other. It's just so beautiful. And this is that type of a couple who can talk with gestures and talk through their eyes also. Not that they don't touch each other at all. I'm just saying that they are from a social construct where they're not too touchy-feely. In India also, it's not very common to see people kissing each other too much, or the young generation is doing it a lot, but then also we have this whole thing of we don't do so much PDA. Again, I'm not talking about everyone is not the same, but generally you would not see people do so much PDA as compared to what we see in the Western world. And both of them also feel this type of energy that, what, we made it through. Like, despite this feeling. And none of them, like, both of them could have their own reasons for being upset with each other. But none of them have that reason. Because, again, the DM just always mirrors. It's always the divine feminine. She has to do the inner work and DM will mirror it. Now, you might think, oh, how easy for the DM. No, every time she does something, some part of the wound is healed, he has to go through a practical experience of the same thing. So theory and practical. Theory is also not easy to remember, to understand by experience. So somehow both of them have the experience and both of them are doing the research. But one is doing the research more openly, like I am doing the research, and the other one is just understanding, like by the situations that go bad or the feelings basically. So this is the second couple. So I was thinking of doing part 3 for this, but I think I will include it here only in this same part. Now the third couple that I see who are in union or who are in harmonization phase, I would say, they had a problem of ethnicity, of culture. Like one belonged to a very different culture or the other completely didn't match with that culture. They were raised in very different atmospheres. So when it came to ethnicity, like it could be like one is from a different religion, the other is from the completely opposite religion. They could even be enemy religions, like in some places that is also seen. But they are a very playful, very happy and a very positive couple. So in their case, the separation was not imposed by their own selves. The separation was imposed by the family members. It was the family who were like, no, you can't be with this person. And this is not our religion, not our ethnicity, not our culture. How you can do this? This is so wrong. So they had the separation. Now, even in this case, the divine feminines can go through that phase. He didn't choose me. He chose the parents. He didn't take my side. He's not so powerful. He's very weak. He's so helpless, blah, blah, blah. And though that stage must have happened, but now that she's in the surrender stage, she doesn't have that anger or that bitterness towards him anymore. She understands that, it could have been difficult for him. If I was in his place, maybe I would have felt the same thing. So for some time, she had completely hated him. She had completely given up on him. And then the parents made her meet some people, some prospective grooms, or she went to some family functions where, they specifically made her talk to some guys. And then she felt, oh, no. These are, and this is after she said that, I'll forget him, to hell with him. He can do whatever he wants. He chose his parents, so fine. I will also do what my parents tell me. But when she decided to do that, or when she started meeting or talking to such people, her soul, her heart, her mind, nothing allowed her to do so. And then she realized that she has to do inner work and she has to heal the wounds. Because if she's not going to do that, then how is it possible for him to mirror the same feeling? So it is one of those twin flame couples where the divine feminine did a good amount of research on this journey, and by changing herself, her perspective, and by healing her wounds, finally she understood that she is happy with him only, and these are just hurdles. Now, before the separation, they were a very happy couple. They would go for picnics, they would go for outings, they would do many things, like together. They were very, very fun couple. But it was because of the family's interference or the family's rejection, they could not share anything. Like they could never, talk to their friends openly about it, or they could not talk like on social media. So the feminine also had this very much that anger that, I had to hide my relationship. It was so bad because he would pressurize her, like, don't show it to anyone, don't share it. So when she went away in separation, when she became completely silent and she did not entertain him at all, that time he also felt very bad, like, she's mine. And then he could see on social media or on via friends, he would find out that, she's going for this wedding or she's going for this party that her parents have arranged, and she's meeting this guy or that guy. Or he saw some group pictures where she was standing next to a very handsome guy and very attractive guy, and he felt this really, bad, this, pangs of envy and pangs of self-image hatred. And then he realized that, what am I doing? I cannot just watch her go to some other man. Before that, he had also planned that, okay, maybe my parents know better and I will be with her. But when he actually started hanging out with his parents, he saw that the parents are still fighting. They're still unhappy. Whatever he does, they're always unhappy. Be it choosing the job of their liking, be it, meeting girls of their liking, do anything he did. He felt that that's how their nature is. I cannot change their nature. They are going to create trouble in everything I do. Even if I jump into a well, they will start discussing it and arguing about it. So he understood that the problem is not in the divine feminine. She was being genuine, when she would say, I want to do this, I want to do that, but because of you, I can't do this, I can't do that. So in the separation phase, he felt very bad, he felt very sad, and he would miss all those things they used to do together. They are the type of couple who can play Ludo together, who can play snake and ladders together, they can play chess together, they can go to a cafe, and they were like very good friends. They can dance, they can sing, how some people are like that by nature. So in my mother's country, in Nepal, that's how most people are. They're always singing, always dancing, always chilling. They're always doing something. They're playing cards or they're playing games. They play board games. Then they can plan picnic any day. They can go to a farm and have fun. They can have fun while harvesting. They can have fun while sowing the seeds. And they have different seasons. And they have all these festivals which are also just how the people's energy is. Like there's a festival called Tej, and I even shared some vlogs on Tej, which I can share here also. I could not even believe that people dance and sing for 10, 11 days. They dance on the streets, they dance in the jungles, they dance next to the lake, they dance everywhere. They're just dancing. And the men, they just, whatever money they've earned, they just keep buying clothes and jewelry, whatever the wives want, whatever the mothers. So basically, it's a festival for women. So imagine how much the women are celebrated in this country. And the men, they make all the arrangement, like the music, the speakers, the food, and the women's job is just to sing and dance. They'll also provide the, masculine protection. It's amazing. So they could be, belonging to such families. That's why I see a lot of these parties also happening a lot. Both the couples have been attending a lot of family gatherings. The family gatherings are very high in number. They have many relatives, many uncles and many aunts and many nephews and many nieces and many cousins. So somebody's marriage is happening, sometimes birthday is happening, sometimes this is happening, that is happening, a business party is happening. So both of them were like that. So both of them used to enjoy doing these things. But when they got separated, they were like the most dullest person in any get-together, in any occasion. They would never smile, they would never eat properly, they would be so morose and so sad and so dejected. Even the parents, they started feeling bad for them, very bad for them, like the girl's parents would feel like, what is wrong with her, she's not the same person anymore. Otherwise she used to be the life of our parties, otherwise she used to be the life of our house, but these days she's like a flower, that is about to die, a withering flower. Earlier she used to be a blooming flower. What is wrong with my daughter? What is wrong with him or her? And then the same thing they would think. And at the same time, they also realize the parents are, always complaining. So why did I even make this stupid decision? Why did I leave my twin for these stupid people, who are always going to be unhappy? So the change happened everywhere because they changed. So everyone around them changed. And eventually, they started contacting each other. They started talking to each other. Initially, it was like simple, like, hi, how are you? Are you good? Yeah, I'm good. What's up? So how was your this festival or that? Yeah, it was nice. Good. Okay, I'll talk to you later. Then again, they would connect and, so what's up? How's your day today? And talk a bit longer. So slowly and gradually, because they also had this, they had also kept it in their heart, like how much you miss someone, but you're not able to say it because you're scared. What if I say I miss you? What if I say I love you? And she goes like, what do you mean? Why are you saying this? We are just friends. So he didn't want to get into that stage. So he also waited, and she also was like, if he abruptly tells me that he loves me, then I don't know what to say, because then I'll ask him why he did this to me. So I don't want to get into that negative zone. So both of them go with the flow, and after surrender, after radiance, after harmonization, slowly and gradually, step by step, they come back to each other and they reconcile. So these are the three couples I saw, and I'm going to end the channeling here, and one love and peace out.